Welcome to FXcast. This is our FXcast market analysis video for Sunday, May 8, 2011. In each of our videos, we look for high probability trading setups, we'll evaluate the gold chart, come up with a low volatility watch list that's updated throughout the day, an insight bar watch list, we review the economic calendar to see what could affect our potential trades, and an education spotlight at the end. With that said, let's begin. We're actually going to go ahead and start off with the gold chart, and we can see that gold went ahead and came all the way down to the 50 moving average and bounced. And we also have sort of a support level right here at 1471. We'll go ahead and draw that in right about there. So we want to see gold stay above that. Certainly a potential buying area right here. Or is it going to come back down, test the 50, and break this beautiful uptrend? Let's take a quick second and draw that out and see where we are. And you can kind of see, although you can kind of see where we bounced at the 50 moving average was a part of this uptrend. So made a good sense to bounce there. That was a good buying opportunity. We'll see if the buyers have the strength to move us up past. What we can see on our market profile is that you can see the volume here at 1484, and the next really high volume area is around 1517. So there's a little room to run. You might find a little bit at 1500, but it looks like there's room to go up to 1517. However, again, we looked at this the other day, and we were comparing gold with the dollar pairs. And so here's the pound dollar, which was following gold a little bit, but notice that it's continued to be weak as gold bounced. Here's the Aussie dollar, and it has bounced with gold, so there's some correlation there. And even you can see right where price is at right now is, where you could argue some support or resistance is. So we'll see how well that reacts. Let's put one more in here. Just to see what's going on. Swing high. So it'll be interesting to see how it interacts in this box here. Staying above the 20 or falling below. And then we have the euro dollar, which has really been affected by, the dollar. The non-farm payrolls on Friday was better than expected. The whole Eurozone versus Greece poker match, who's going to win as far as more austerity cuts, so will give us more time to pay back. That certainly will be interesting. And also you can see on the daily on this one, if we kind of match up this swing high here, they're around 1424, 1425. And that is going to probably be our line in the sand of our beautiful uptrend. And what we mean by that is that it was resistance in March, it was support in April, and so now what's it going to be? Is it going to be support, or are we going to break through? Or is it just an air kiss and we're going to move higher? Now what's interesting is if I pull back here and bring you up the market profile for the euro dollar, you can kind of see that there was a ton of volume at the and that's where our point of control is at 1.4535. And down here it looks like we kind of free fell right down here. So the good news is if we're going to bounce off the 50, we should immediately with light resistance, again that's how market profile works, we should be able to come right back up. We're in that light volume range, and then and test again this range if we're bouncing, and then there's room to run if we get back up there. But if not, there's nothing holding us, especially after we get past the 142425 range. What's going to stop us from breaking our uptrend and putting in a lower high? Now, with the pound and the dollar, you can kind of see where we're bouncing. There's all kinds of volume right here. So this is going to be the same thing. In order for us, we need to get above 1.6391, that point of control. We need to get above that in order to get into this next volume profile, this next auction area. Otherwise, it looks like we may just stay here or go lower. Finally, with the Aussie in a dollar, it's the same thing as a pound dollar. We need to get above. Wait a minute, that didn't. Let me hit that one more time. There we go. Sorry about that. So here it looks like we are above the volume support, and there is room for us to go ahead and move back higher. So the Aussie dollar is the strongest out of all of those paired up against the dollar currency pairs. Okay, let's switch over to the euro currencies. We'll start off with the euro yen. And the main thing we see with the euro currency pairs is uptrends that have pulled back to, secondary supports. Now, one thing we see right off the back here with the euro yen on a daily is this M pattern right here. Nice little M pattern right here. And obviously we blew through this support, and now we're sitting here at the support set in from March. The other thing that's key with this one is that we've already broken the 50 moving average and we put in a lower high. So is this the beginning of a downtrend? In technical terms, yes, because as I said, we already put in a lower swing high. But I think this is where the test is really going to be held. If we bounce here, great. If not, there's a potential run down here to the 200 moving average. Probably 13.25 first, but again, it's all whether or not we can hold here. When we look at the market profile, we can see how we already broke the point of control over the past couple of days, and we already broke the high volume area. And there is a little volume picking up here, so there, maybe we'll hold here. But again, if we break the low today, I think we're certainly looking at testing the 200. Now, the Euro Aussie, this is something we've been watching for a while. And, we had our box. We broke out of that box. Now we're breaking below that box. And we're sitting at support. A lot of wicks down here. So I wouldn't be the first person to chase a short after here. Certainly after 2 big down days. And seeing the wicks here. But we can also see that, again, our high volume area, our point of control for the past couple of days is up here. And, there does look like there's more room to go. Now, if we bounce, the good news is that we can easily come back up to the point of control because there's not a lot of volume resistance. But this is one that I wouldn't be chasing. And the last one we're going to look at is the Euro franc. And on this one, we can see, again, blasting down through levels of support. We do have a little bit more to go. So this one certainly is interesting. And then when we pull over the market profile, we can see that we're in sort of a light volume area. So this is one that I probably put an alert below today, Friday's low, and see if we don't at least wick down to here. Again, these were all wicks anyway. So buyers do tend to come in below here, but we may be able to catch a quick run down here to that price level. We're going to quickly run through the dollar currency pairs, and we have the dollar yen. And the thing here, it's at support. Could it go lower? It certainly can. But one thing that we see on the market profile of the past couple of days is this is the high volume area. Now, we've made our way back up, and we're consolidating in this high volume area. If we can break a little bit here, there's certainly room for us to continue this consolidation and move back up to the top side of this channel, at least to the 20 moving average. If we can stay above, let's see, if we can stay above, looks like 80.45, 80.50, if we can get above it and stay above it, we should be okay with continuing to move higher. We're entering that light volume area that won't hold us down. As far as the dollar franc, we made our run to the 20 moving average. We talked about that. You can see that we're above in that light volume area. So certainly there is potential to continue on to the 20 moving average. Now, what's going to happen once we get to the 20 moving average? We don't know. Are we going to bounce or are we going to continue higher? I like to personally, I'd rather let it hit the 20 moving average since it's so close, close the candle, and then tell us whether or not we want to go to the 50 or whether or not we're going to pull back to the pull back to make a new low. Finally is the dollar Canadian, and this has already moved to the 20, moved to the 50 moving average, and you can see where we're at right now is in this high volume congestion area, and so we either need to break probably below the wick from Friday, below that wick, maybe even lower. Get down here to 965, even better down to 964, so that we can drop in this light volume down here to 958. So this one made a doji. The buyers did come in to try to keep this up. Buyers tried to keep this up in the top auction versus falling below. But look what happened though. If it came in and we got our big candle down in this light volume area, and then the buyers came in once again in this volume area here and pulled us back up. So we'll see if the buyers can push us up into the next auction area. Okay, for our low volatility watch list right now, we do not have anything available for us, but as the day progresses, that certainly will be updated. And because of the big move with the euro and the Greece and the non-farm payrolls moving the dollar, we don't have any candidates for our inside bar watch list at the current time either. Let's go take a look at the economic calendar. As we pull up Forex XO for our economic calendar, we can see a couple things. We have the China trade balance. We also have, it's not on here, but we have the Aussie trade balance. We have the pound, Halifax, which has to do with housing. We also have the Canadian housing starts, again showing whether or not there's construction jobs being created, whether or not houses being built. So there's some information, but you can see for the most part we have a light release day for Monday, May 9th. As we end with our educational spotlight, we're going to talk a little bit about market profile since we've been sharing that in our videos. And I use more of a volume profile, but the market profile indicators can give us the same information. I don't get necessarily into anybody who knows true market profile where they plot letters for each time period. I don't get too much into that. And what it basically does is it helps us understand the internal structure of the market. You hear that the market is either trending or is consolidating. Well, market profile looks at it as the market is either balanced or is imbalanced. And when we look at our little picture here, we can see the market is balanced when we're in here consolidating, and it's imbalanced as it's coming down this light volume area to another area of balance, another area of volume. And so we're really looking at support and resistance defined by volume. The value area equals 70% of the prior day, so that value is where buyers and sellers are saying, we agree with this price. We agree with this price, it's a good price, and as we stay within that value, we'll typically see consolidation. We'll typically see congestion. The point of control on our picture here is this little red dashed line, but that's the price level that had the most volume from the previous day. And what we basically look at is the market tests that value area high, the value area low, the market will test the point of control. But when we break out of value, that is where we're out of balance and the market may begin to trend. We'll do more on this as time progresses. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.